Game changer. $293 million in women's sports earnings soars 13%. Are these athletes on a winning streak? The numbers landed like a thunderclap across the sports world. $293 million in combined earnings for women athletes. A 13% surge that didn't just break a record. It shattered an old myth. For decades, women's sports were described as growing, promising, or on the verge. Now, the conversation has changed. Growth has arrived. Momentum is real. And the athletes driving this boom aren't waiting for permission anymore. This is not a story about charity or catch-up. This is a story about value, visibility, and victory. On the field, on the balance sheet, and in the cultural imagination. The turning point no one can ignore. A 13% rise in earnings at this level isn't incremental. It's transformational. When nearly $300 million concentrates around elite women athletes, it signals a market recalibration. Brands aren't supporting women's sports. They're investing in it. Broadcasters aren't experimenting. They're committing. Fans aren't politely applauding. They're showing up in stadiums, on streams, and across social platforms. This surge marks a pivot from potential to proof. For years, critics claimed women's sports lacked star power, commercial appeal, or sustainable audiences. Those claims now look outdated, even laughable. The stars are here. The appeal is obvious. And the audiences, they're global, engaged, and loyal. Who's powering the surge? Behind the headline number are athletes who have become cultural forces as much as competitive ones. The superstars redefining the ceiling. At the top, a handful of elite athletes command multimillion-dollar earnings that blend prize money, endorsements, equity stakes, and media ventures. They aren't just endorsing products. They're shaping brands. They sit at the intersection of performance, personality, and purpose. Three pillars modern audiences demand. These athletes don't wait for deals. They design them. They negotiate creative control, equity, and long-term partnerships. In doing so, they're rewriting how success is measured. The breakout class expanding the floor. What's equally striking is the depth. Earnings growth isn't confined to the very top. A broader tier of athletes across tennis, soccer, basketball, golf, track, and emerging leagues are seeing meaningful jumps. That's how movements become markets. When success spreads, this expansion suggests a healthier ecosystem where more athletes can build sustainable careers rather than rely on a few outliers to carry the narrative. The sports fueling the boom tennis, the blueprint. Women's tennis has long provided a roadmap for commercial success. Global tours, equal prize money at majors, and marketable rivalries. Today's stars combine on-court dominance with off-court storytelling, turning tournaments into chapters of a larger saga fans follow year-round. Soccer, the cultural engine. Women's soccer has crossed into mainstream culture. Major tournaments now feel like global events, producing moments that ripple through music, fashion, and politics. Sponsorships follow relevance, and relevance has arrived in force. Basketball, the breakthrough moment. Women's basketball is in the middle of a renaissance. Viewership spikes, sold-out arenas, and viral highlights have transformed perceptions. Players are becoming household names, not just league icons. For sponsors, the value proposition is suddenly undeniable. Track, golf, and beyond. Individual sports thrive in the social media era, where highlights travel fast and personalities shine. Athletes build direct relationships with fans, converting authenticity into income. The result? Earnings that reflect both performance and personal brand power. Why brands are betting bigger and smarter. This earnings surge didn't happen by accident. Brands have learned a crucial lesson. Women's sports deliver returns. Engaged audiences, fans of women's sports, often show higher engagement and loyalty. They don't just watch, they advocate. Authenticity over flash. Many women athletes excel at storytelling, sharing journeys, setbacks, and values. That authenticity resonates in an era where consumers distrust polished perfection. Cultural alignment supporting women's sports aligns brands with equity, progress, and inclusion, values that increasingly drive purchasing decisions. Global reach. Women's sports stars often command international followings, making them ideal ambassadors in a connected world. The result is fewer one-off endorsements and more long-term partnerships. Deals that build narratives over years, not campaigns over weeks. Media, money, and the visibility effect. Visibility is the currency of modern sports, and women athletes are finally being paid in it. Broadcast deals have expanded. Streaming platforms compete for rights. Social media amplifies highlights within seconds. Each layer multiplies value, turning moments into movements. When a women's final draws record viewership, it sends a message that echoes far beyond the scoreboard. Networks invest more. Sponsors pay more. Young athletes dream bigger. Visibility doesn't just reflect success, it creates it. The athlete SEO. Perhaps the most revolutionary shift is how women athletes see themselves. Increasingly, they operate like CEOs of their own brands. They launch production companies. They invest in startups. They collaborate with designers, filmmakers, and activists. They build communities, not just followings. This entrepreneurial mindset changes the math. Earnings no longer depend solely on wins and losses. They compound through ownership and influence. The 13% rise is not just about higher paychecks. It's about smarter structures. The ripple effect. Who wins next? Young athletes. When earnings soar at the top, pathways open below. Youth participation increases. Development programs expand. Parents see viable futures. Dreams gain credibility. Leagues and federations. Rising athlete earnings pressure institutions to modernize. Better facilities. Improved scheduling, smarter marketing. Competition raises standards. Fans. More investment means better broadcasts, richer storytelling, and more access. Fans don't just consume, they belong. The skeptics' last stand. There will always be voices asking whether this growth is sustainable. The answer lies in the fundamentals. Demand is real. Audiences are growing. Brands are renewing deals, not retreating. This isn't a bubble built on hype. It's a market responding to value long overlooked. The road ahead, from surge to standard. The real question isn't whether women athletes are on a winning streak. It's whether the industry will keep pace with them. To sustain momentum, media must commit beyond marquee events. Brands must invest across tiers, not just superstars. Final whistle, more than money. This earnings surge is about more than dollars. It's about recognition. It's about rewriting narratives that said excellence wasn't enough. It's about proving that when talent meets opportunity, the results speak loudly. A 13% rise doesn't just mark growth. It signals confidence. Confidence from fans. Confidence from brands. Confidence from athletes who now know, without doubt, that their worth is measurable, marketable, and massive. So, are these athletes on a winning streak? The numbers say yes. The culture says yes. And if momentum has anything to say about it, this game has only just begun. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.